1, 2. Right, so you should be able to hear and see me. We're still getting frame drops. What if I clear the dropped frames notification? Hiya, wee girl. Do you want to come up here? Okay, so it looks as if everything's green on my end now. But there's definitely ghosts in the machine. Hiya, wee girl. You try to come round here? Where even is she? Where is that beautiful girl? Hey, Pepper. Where is Pepper? I don't know where my dog is. Right, okay, so is that us? I think we're all good now. I think that's us all good now. So who knows what was going down there. I did have Steam open because I was going to download a game to play. But I don't think it was that because I'm having a wee bit of issues. Anyway, yous don't care. But it is what it is. Here, do you want to just sack that one? We'll clean our glasses, everybody. And we will crack open a beer. Eh? Mum will crack open a bottle of beer. Sorry that we got off to a bit of a rough start, everybody. Will I try and get the energy back up? I didn't even say thank you to Nora's Day. Nora's Day, thank you very much for subbing. For Nora's Day's perspective, they just subbed and then I went offline. For all they know, Nora's Day, I hope you're still in. Thank you for your lovely sub and welcome in and all of that. Also, when I'm here, this is something that I was planning on doing. So if I do... You know how on different TikToks and stuff like that, right? What they like to do is they like to put, you know, a game down here somewhere in order to keep you watching, and it'll be like Subway Surfers or something like that, and it just keeps you watching. Something keeps taking focus of my mouse, and I can't work out quite what it is. Anyway, so what I'm going to try and do is show yous the wrestling somehow or something like that. Right? So let me figure out a way that I can alter a scene as it's still being broadcast up here. Right? And it better not hit you with some audio. So give me a wee second. What I want to do is show you the wrestling over here. So let's just see if I can make that a reality. I might need to like bounce out and like just show you a blank screen for a wee bit. Hold on. So if I bounce out here, this is the video feed that I usually send to the screens. This is what it looks like behind the scenes. Okay, so what was supposed to happen there is there was supposed to be a YouTube video of wrestling, right? But I don't think I've done it right. I think I've just done it as like a VLC video source thing, but I was sure you could do that, man. I was positive you could do that. Let's have a wee look and see if we could get the wrestling on. Maybe schedule it for next Thursday. Hugh TV, why I oughta. Right, hold on. Let's just investigate this further. So, if we delete a playlist that I've just made called Wrestling, and then we add a new instance of Streamer Bot is loading up. Oh, aye, because I restarted my computer. So sorry if you've had any... Snuffy the Bear has resubbed, but it's just went into the ether because I didn't... Oh, this is hellish, man. This is a hellish stream that I'm doing. I'm very sorry I'm not a wonderful streamer. Snuffy the Bear, thank you very much for your sub. Let's press that. Oh, I can't hit paste because I copied the thing before the restart. So give me a wee second. So we'll do that, and I'm looking for an older pay-per-view Backlash 2008. Although that's 2008, that's widescreen. I want it to be like narrow. No, narrow screen, check me out. I want 4:3 is what I want. I mean, we could watch the 1989 Royal Rumble. Will we watch the 1989 Royal Rumble? I think we should. But not actually watch it, just have it on in the background, right? So, I'm going to hit OK. And then... No. 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 Where's that coming from? Where's that audio coming from? I mean, I can't hear. Where's that audio coming from then? Where's that audio coming from? Can you hear that? I don't think I can hear that. How do I mute it? Alright, I sort of see what's happening. Ah, it's an ad. It's an advert. Right, so if this goes over here. Aye. Right, we're nearly here, everybody. For some reason, I'm hearing an advert in... Right, but if I go back to, like, Wavelink, that audio isn't being routed anywhere, mate. So, what if I go to filters, effect filters, audio filters, gain, I just turn it right down. Negative 30 decibels. It's still doing it. It's still doing it. Why is the audio coming out of my... I've got two effects for like negative, because if I turn this off, it doesn't... Why can't I mute this? Will I just delete it? Will I just delete it? I can't not be listening to this. I mean, do you hear this? Obviously you hear it through the speakers, but do you hear it? Do you hear it in your ear or just via the mic? Like if I mute the mic just now, do you hear the wrestling? Was it muted there? Just via the mic? Can he fix it for you? So what happens when I delete it? What happens if I just delete it? Delete. Yes. The sound goes. I hate OBS. Hello, B Dolan. Hello, B Dolan. I thought I would just have the wrestling on behind you. Do you know what I mean? I would just have the wrestling on behind me. If you put the wrestling on, that's getting my full attention. CodeWeTD. So I added the wrestling as a browser source, right? Just a YouTube link. However, in my audio mixer, the browser source wasn't coming up, so I had no idea how to mute it. And I know my OBS. Welcome in, everybody. How you doing? Just turn the TV down? No, it's coming for here, unfortunately, not here. And I can't turn this down for some reason because of computers. Dearie me. Oh, aye, the Shockmaster Channel 13, it was wonderful. It's absolutely wonderful. 92 Rumble is on YouTube. Aye, that's the only reason that I picked it. I was just like, right, let's do this. Okay, so I want to try it again, everybody, right? I want to try and put the wrestling on in the background once more, right? Let's try and do it in this scene here, right? So let's add a browser source. I'm going to call this wrestling, right? Then I'm going to paste that there. Okay. There's a button that says control audio via OBS. I guess I'm clicking that. If you're using a browser source, there's a setting at the bottom that says control audio with OBS. I got there just before. There we go. Or you can press interact and mute the video. Amazing. Do you know, I knew both those things, but I didn't actually put them together until you just said. Okay, let's get rid of this. For we're having the wrestling on behind me, right? So stay where you are, folks. Don't get scared, but I'm about to go away just very briefly. In fact, I'll try and do this in a way that makes me not need to go away. So if we do this, and we do wrestling, right, I spell it wrong, we put it here, you control audio via OBS, there we go, and now what's probably going to happen is probably...
We joined at the sit. We live side by
now
side.
I can't hear it, but now maybe you can hear it. Let me just see if you can hear it. Yes. So now that's muted, and now we're all in a good place where live's in it. The only problem is you're getting ads now. Even though I pay for YouTube Premium, I'm not signed into YouTube Premium with this. But it's something. It's something. So if I pull this over here, Howard Finkel. Did Howard Finkel not get in some bother for selling Viagra or something like that? I'm sure I remember. So now if I stretch this, no. If I stretch it, I had to go to Wrestler's Court. Does anybody know what I'm talking about with Finkel? He's explaining the rules of the Royal Rumble. We know the rules of the Royal Rumble, Howard Finkel. Man, the video quality on this CRT looks just great. You can't tell like any compression or anything. There we go. I think that's a good setup. And then in the background, just as if we were watching a TikTok or something like that, instead of Subway Surfers being on in the background, I've got like a wrestling match, and just hopefully nobody gets busted wide open, because I think that's technically against the Twitch terms of service. Anyway, sorry that took a wee bit of preparation, but I've been meaning to do that for a bit. Wouldn't it be cool if, you're getting an ad, you're just getting hit with an ad. So I do need to log it. That is literally the type of content that I was talking about that would be on in the background as distraction. Look at that. Life is imitated art that was trying to imitate life. My God. Anyway, what a terrible start to a stream, everybody. Sorry, I've just hit you with really loud stuff. Everything's bad and all of that. Brain rot, exactly. Brain rot, but with actual wrestling. Do you think I need to log in? I think I need to log in. Really, the ultimate end goal here would be if I had a folder of pirated wrestling matches on my desktop, wouldn't it? And I could just tell VLC to look in that folder. That would be the setup, and that is the setup that I'm going to have to build. Do you know, to be fair, I don't have any pirated wrestling content, and maybe that's something that I need. Maybe I need every episode of Raw up until maybe 2002 or something like that. Maybe it turns out that's what I need. Got my IEMs in, Jimmy? Sorry, everything's terrible. I'm sorry. I'm still learning how to stream, folks. Well, I'll start at the top and say hello to everybody. I'll start at the top. Meatballs says, actually looks like Codex is breaking down. Oh, right. I thought you were talking about Codex as in the coding thing. Look at that. Kiss. It's a member of Kiss was wrestling. I don't know who that is. I should know who that is. Is that... I should know who it is. Bondage Gear. What's that guy's name? I recognise him. I will know his name written down. Is it going to come up? Axe? I would never be able to tell you Axe. It's a horrible name for a wrestler. Listen, this is me now started my stream. This is it now started now. It was terrible earlier, but this is it now started now properly. So everybody, if you've got any good news, please feel free to stick it in the chat. Silver77, Fred's doing good. His eyes are a wee bit bulbous today, we've noticed. Rachel's got like a diary where we write out how he's doing from day to day, and his eyes look a wee bit bulbous. He wanted me to play with him, but he didn't have energy to play, which was heartbreaking. So he's just at me. He's just like that, arf, like wanting to play, and I'm like, yeah, okay, so let's go and play. And he's just like, I can't, mate. But to be fair, it's because it's very, very hot. It's very, very hot today. Look at the flash bulbs sort of doing a weird thing with the tape or something like that. I don't quite know what it's doing, but it's cool. Wee Fred, man. We're getting a lot of people on YouTube now when I go live, so that's interesting. That's interesting. I never foreseen that. But it is what it is. Welcome in, folks. How's it going? We've got a slightly different stream today. I'm kind of back on my swivel chair, right, for this side, but then this chair is still left open if any dog wants to join us. More than welcome. There's always a seat here. But I'm sorry for the dodgy start to the stream. Just took a wee bit of effort getting set up. It was very loud. I ruined all your ears and everything. I'm sorry about that. Woke up the neighbours. Sorry about that. But welcome in. Listening to Michael Cole tell us 40 times each Rumble means we know the rules. Exactly. I know the bloody rules of the Royal Rumble, Michael Cole. Hemorrhaging views. Sorry. It's not still mad loud, is it? I've kind of sorted it. Oh, look, we're getting a Reignition Power Rangers ad. Ads are bad, aren't they? I use YouTube Premium, so I've not had ads for quite a while. But anyway, that's kind of retro. He just jumped over the other guy. Didn't he need to do that? There wasn't a hip toss or anything. The guy just jumped over the other guy. I want to see that again. Power Rangers. Am I right? I'm right. Is it true that with Power Rangers, you might get a YouTube on and WWF copyrights or stuff? Aye, that's what I was thinking, but I'm doing a wee sort of test here. So I'm viewing it on a CRT, smaller, and without audio. And I don't know if it'll pick up on that. I might get a warning, I might not get a warning, we'll see how it goes. Blue Crest, what is even that? Sally Gunnell, wasn't she? No, it's somebody else I'm thinking of. Silver77 asks, we need a Fred report. Doing well. Alright, what's wrong with that map? What's wrong with... Oh, nice one. Am I right, everybody? Typical. Maybe I shouldn't have YouTube on in the background because I'm getting distracted. But did you see that? There was something left out of that map, wasn't there? Is my region still... No. It should know I'm Scottish. Don't have my VPN on. Nice one. Nice one. Anyway, back to two guys leathering each other. Anyway, where are we? Take Your Mankind, King of the Ring is all you need. Definitely. I picked this one just because it was free on YouTube. However, I quite like the idea of whenever I'm streaming, there's just an episode of something on behind me. Maybe it's the wrestling. Maybe it's an episode of Simpsons. Maybe it's like the X-Files or something like that. Could be interesting, would you think? Just something different. Barry Darsaw, is that Axe's name? I recognise him. What's his most famous gimmick? Here, cheers everybody. Aye, look at that for a beer covered in frost and stuff. Sorry if anybody's got any alcohol problems. I rarely drink, but see today, I need a bit of booze. So I've sparked a beer, and this is 7 Giraffes. They are a worthwhile alternative to Brewdog. If you're in Scotland, the Brewdog people are bad people from what I can tell. 7 Giraffes from what I can tell. And I didn't dig deep, but they seem to be good people. So this is one of my faves by Williams Brothers. Williams Brothers. So cheers, folks. Zypher Orion, is that clip there a clip of when the sound went bad? Because if that's the case, I'm not going to click it again because then it'll make the sound bad for everybody again. But if it's a clip of something else, well, I'll click it and then quickly mute it in case it's the sound going bad. Oops. I didn't know. I don't know what it's saying. Out of context, dog impression, got you. Thank you. Always be clipping. I really appreciate people clipping. The important part was there. I'll see myself out. That's over my head, TD. No idea what you're on about. Always good to see you in, man. Always good to see you in. Smash was Repo Man? Right, I see. Got you. Blue Crest Blue Shield is American health coverage. All police and stuff have it. Cool, man. That looks good. I knew I smelt some bogus bullshit, didn't I? Privatised healthcare. I knew I smelt... I thought Blue Crest was some type of toothpaste or something. Smash is Barry Darsaw. Smash or Repo Man was probably his most famous gimmick. Here's my idea. Another Power Rangers ad. That's weird. Here's my idea for a wrestling video game. You into this, folks? I'm sure I've told you about it multiple times before, but what if there's a wrestling video game that didn't break kayfabe? Or sorry, did break kayfabe. So you would enter each match with a predetermined outcome that the booker would tell you, and if you didn't make that outcome happen, you would lose the match. You know what I mean? Or like, there could be quick time events when somebody calls a move, you need to do it really quickly. Or, you know, you listen to the crowd, and if the crowd go a certain way, you make certain decisions. I think it would be really cool. There's another privatised medical thing with Sally Gunnell. Why am I getting hit with all of this pish? Anyway, that's no cool, is it? That's no cool. But I think that would make a lot of sense. A wrestling game where it's all a work and you need to put on a show for the audience, and that's paramount, as opposed to a wrestling game where, you know, you need to be the toughest in the locker room, or you need to, like, down to the minutiae of showing up in a venue and then having to, like, find the local Wendy's to get food, and then finding a spray tan place and bumming a lift with another wrestler to go to the next city, all of that sort of stuff. Like all the, like, wrestler manager. And it would have to be set. Is that Andre? Fucking is Andre. What year is this? 1992? Is this the 92 Royal Rumble? Who's it with the blue trunks? Mr. Perfect? I forget what happens in the 92 Rumble. No spoilers, thank you. 7 giraffes is too many giraffes, or if you're Roscoe, you'll just think it's several giraffes. Roscoe was an adult when he realised that the word several doesn't mean 7. He just always assumed that the word several meant 7. Just like wires crossed somewhere. Just got wires crossed and just thought that several, all his life, all his adult life, thought several just meant 7, and it doesn't. I think that's incredible. There's somebody I used to work with, right? And she used a computer mouse, right? So see, instead of clicking your mouse like that, she used it upside down and would click the buttons here. So like with the wire going into her wrist. And so it meant that like the whole, well, I can't even do it and I'm trying to do it. It meant that our axis was inverted on both X and Y, and the buttons are down the bottom. And I remember it was another colleague that's like, oh, do you know this person uses a mouse upside down? I was like, oh, right, do they? Haha. And he's like, no, deadly serious. And she was getting a bit defensive. She's like, oh, well, nobody told me. It was a long time ago that I picked up a mouse for the first time. Nobody told me that it was upside down. And I'm like, aye, but really? Surely you understand very quickly, right, the ergonomics of... Let me rotate it. When I go up, it's going down. When I go left, it goes... What if I just rotate it, right? But see, even if you didn't do that... Oh, no. Echo Thump, how you doing? Thank you very much. I got your profile picture on screen there. Echo Thump, thank you very, very much for subbing. Welcome in. How you doing? Welcome in. Thank you very, very much. You're a legend, Echo Thump. Sorry, we were watching the wrestling. I think what's now happened is the wrestling has started for the very start, because I closed it and I've opened it again, but we'll figure it out, man. We might need to watch that Axe guy and another 5 adverts for Power Rangers. Echo Thump, how you doing? 35 months of learning, welcome in. Echo Thump, thanks very much for subbing. Snuffy the Bear and Nora's Day, thank you very much for subbing. Yous are all brilliant. Yous are all brilliant. Those WWE 2K streams were dark times. I remember, did I stream WWE 2K? I think I did. I was talking about the map, got it. I figured it out. I clocked it quite quickly. Where are we? I don't like that we're getting privatised healthcare ads. That's not very good, is it? All the actual Power Rangering is Japanese with the Japanese actors, and all the English stuff is just filmed and cut and post. No idea if it's true. I was about to ask that, Stefja. So there's a wee bit of racism, wasn't there, alleged with the ethnicity of some of the coloured like the colours of Power Rangers. But then that was found out to be coincidental later or something. I don't know. But what I was going to suggest is, so if all the Power Rangers with their helmets on is all just for the original Japanese series and the Americans filmed all the bits with the helmets off, I think what we should do is maybe film a Scottish version of, like, with all the helmets off, of Power Rangers. What do you think about that? And we use all the footage with all the helmets on, still intact, but anytime somebody takes the helmet off, then it'll be like, you know, we'll get Grado, some other Scottish people, Rick Rankin, fucking, what's tons of Scottish people. And I think we should do our own version. And then as soon as they put their helmets back on, you know what I mean? I just think it's a good idea. Anyone seen the Clippy revolution on YouTube? I don't know what that's about. I caught whiff of it on Twitter, didn't pursue it. People were saying to change your profile pictures to Clippy, Microsoft Clippy for some reason. Don't really know what it's about. I passed me by. Blue Cross, Blue Shield is the good coverage. I reject all. I reject the full thing, but it looks as if that's what's happening here now, isn't it? Terrible. Man, are they going to get Andre over? I don't think they're going to get Andre over that top rope. I'll be honest with you. Oh, but who's this man? He's going to smash it all. Alright. No, it wasn't really that powerful. The selection of talent here looks a bit pish, man. Is that Valentine, Greg Valentine that came in with the blonde hair? Something. There were a couple of the Valentinesies, wasn't there? Death Stranding, the Wrestler Edition. I could design this game. Aye, man, I really want to play it. Been playing a wrestling game where you play the Booker. It's so fun. That would be cool, Beanie Mac. Is it that Pro Elite Wrestling or something? Somebody got me a copy of that ages ago, and I didn't play it on stream. It looked a bit pixel art sort of aesthetic. Hello, Halric, welcome in. WrestleQuest has some elements of storyline in its game. That sounds cool. Hello, upstairs down. Evening, I'll have a massive bowl of strawberries, bananas, and Neapolitan ice cream with chocolate sauce. That sounds delightful, upstairs down. Well into it, man. All his microwaved meals undercooked for almost 3 decades, no even joking. He's some guy, that Roscoe. I like him. My first experience with Final Fantasy was my brother's girlfriend playing with the controller upside down because she was left-handed. It's mental, isn't it? Just some people are alive. It's mental, still alive. Schools need critical thinking class, totally agree. Wrestling and magician stuff should be taught there. Many times with the right clicking instead of left clicking as well. I know. I couldn't believe it. And so I was like, no. But to a point where she was getting stressed out, so I couldn't. Alright, okay. I just couldn't pursue it after a wee while because I was in total disbelief. Aye, the wrestling thing was bad. However, Stevia, see if I didn't do my wrestling streams, we wouldn't have been gifted the gift that was Balmer's Sunday Night Shite Fights. Because in one of the earlier Balmer Sunday Night Shite Fights thing, they mentioned that they got the idea for me doing my wrestling streams. So even though I only did maybe 2 or 3 wrestling streams, why I remember it was just hellish, wasn't it? Create a wrestler didn't work and all that or something like that. If I didn't do mine, Balmer wouldn't have done theirs. Who's in and around here? Is this a wee dog guy here? Is this a wee tiny wee dog guy here?
No, it's a tiny wee Rachel.
Hiya Rachel, how you doing? I thought you were a wee dog. It's not, it was Rachel. Blue Ranger was Scottish? I don't think the Blue Ranger was Scottish. I think Blue Ranger was Protestant. The Green Ranger was Catholic. I think that's how it went. Power Rajis, 100%. The fight scenes being all Japanese was just for the first couple of seasons. They started mixing American scenes later on. The kaiju stuff remained Japanese. Interesting. I don't know anything about it. Would you have them all dress up or just AI it? Hugh TV, so all the bits where they put their helmets on, just the exact same. So like 90s film, shot on film, I believe. 4:3, right? Shot really nicely on a soundstage somewhere in Japan in the 90s. And then for all the bits without the helmets, it just cuts to like phone footage. Be like me, Cool Genzo, like whoever we can just find. I think we should do a version with emos, but nobody's thought of that idea. I don't think they have. It's maybe for the best. It's to protest dodgy use of AI and the information gathers from Louis Rossman, the right to repair guy. Right. The Clippy thing? Alright. I should maybe read it. Clippy thing is about fighting back against the corporations and how they data mine. Alright. Greg Valentine, I know my wrestlers. Let's see if there's somebody else in there that I've not mentioned. Who's this? Oh, that's Jake. I didn't recognise him. Is that the Hammer Valentine and not the Body Valentine, isn't it? That one's Mr. Hammer Valentine, isn't he? So I'm doing alright. Is that Sid in the background? Looks like Sid a wee bit, but maybe slightly different head. Can't really tell. No, it isn't Sid. I mentioned him earlier. Obviously, Jake Roberts, obviously. I mean, come on. Maybe this should be my wrestling knowledge. I just identify everybody who comes out. Oh, no idea, man. Who's that? I thought it was Bam Bam at first, but it isn't. Who's this big brute? Ah, well, that's Jake out. That's a wee shame. But that guy there, who's performing the Irish Whip, don't know who he is. Don't know who he is. Maybe like a no-name jobber sort of guy. Maybe. Oh, look, it's 10:30 and 10:30 is on. Got you on in the background while I read. Hope you're doing good. Thank you, Spoggers. Sorry to put you off whatever you're reading. Hello, Hammy. Welcome in. How you doing? It's evening here. Greg the Hammer Valentine. Aye. 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 Total Extreme Wrestling. I'll give it a wee shot. That looks cool. If it looks good, I'm into it. Oh, my neck. Total Extreme Wrestling. I hate how computers nowadays, when you're in the middle of typing something, will just be like that. So I typed in Total Extreme Wrestling. When I got to Total Space, it was like Total Eclipse of the Heart. I'm like, no. Not Total Eclipse of the Heart. Total Extreme Wrestling. Stop putting me off when I'm in the middle of typing something. Now I'm thinking, hey, Bonnie, what's her chops? Anyway. Just too many distractions today. Even when you're just typing the name of a thing. Filled with distractions. Don't dig it. Anyway. Get the Shockmaster entrance on. Funniest wrestling narrative ever. Who ended up being the Shockmaster? Was it John Tenta, also known as the guy in the mask from the Oddities and either Earthquake or Typhoon? And also he had some other gimmicks. John Tenta, I think, was Shockmaster, wasn't he? Might be wrong. Hope Balmer's alright. Missed those streams. I really miss Balmer's streams. Balmer was in earlier today. I went away. Did next Wednesday turn out to be next Wednesday, not today? Aye, Mike Almond. 20th. I saw somebody... I was watching Cudder's stream, right? And somebody brought up the next Wednesday thing. But my phone ran out of battery and I had the stream on the big telly. So I was unable to join in and chat. But Cudder did a lot of like this hand movement to depict when next Wednesday fell. I thought it was quite funny. Hello, Zafra Cakes. Welcome in. How's it going, Zafra Cakes? Hammy says, if you haven't seen Alien Earth yet... Have you seen Alien Earth yet? I haven't. If not, you need to. Trust me. Okie dokie. Somebody else mentioned that earlier today. You're a no-name jobber, Mike Almond. What? That's not Arn Anderson. Do you know what might be Arn Anderson? Is that Arn Anderson? It looks as if he's about to go over the top. Whoever he is. Do you know, I think you're right. I think you're right. I think it is Arn Anderson. This era is a wee bit before my time, but I should still know people like Arn Anderson. I think it's fine that I didn't know who Axe was. I think that's fine. Anyway, the wrestling, everybody. Who would have thought? Oh, man. So is that Mr. Perfect in the blue? I think it is. He just turned him inside out. Who's this one with the drop kicks? Is that Shawn Michaels' wrestling partner, Marty Jannetty? I don't think it is. Anyway, I'm going to look over here for a wee while. I think you might be right. I think the guy who I originally thought was Bam Bam is actually Arn Anderson. Hee hee, says Africakes. Anyway. Fun fact, Total Eclipse of the Heart was originally called Vampires in Love, written for Nosferatu, the musical, by Jim Steinman, writer of Bat Out of Hell. I didn't know that. Do you know, Bat Out of Hell and Total Eclipse of the Heart, now that you mention it, I totally believe that came from the same hand. Completely agree. Shockmaster was Fred Ottoman, who was Typhoon. Earthquake was his partner. Earthquake was John Tenta, who's the guy that I was thinking about. So there you go. There you go. Outlaw Ron Bass. Nah, I don't know. Outlaw Ron Bass. Let's have a wee look at Outlaw Ron Bass. Outlaw Ron Bass. That's a terrible gimmick. From Harrisburg, Arkansas. Aye, no wonder I didn't recognise him. Although, he had the Stone Cold waistcoat on long before Stone Cold did. So, fair play to the man. But absolutely did not recognise him. He's got his own contemporary figures and everything. Nah, and I call myself a wrestling fan. I was like, who's that? I don't recognise her either, but that's an advert. That's an advert for Scottish solar panels. People just assume they have to pay thousands of pounds to get solar panels, and thousands more to get them installed. But the truth is, you can just hear the Scottishness. Nothing you can do. The song's in your head. I was going to go into it, Dawn, but I'm not going to. I'm going to rise above it. You've all seen the Shockmaster, haven't you? People in chat are talking about Shockmaster. And if you haven't seen it, I guess you have to see it. So there was a big build-up. A brand new wrestler was getting announced. Everybody's like, oh, who's the wrestler going to be? And it was in a vignette in the back, right? So one of the... This isn't the hairdressers. They used to do like these vignettes, sort of scripted vignettes rather than wrestling. And it's where things would happen. So in this particular instance, here's Sid, man. He's feeling very passionate. He'll bring some much needed balance to whatever discourse is currently happening. Flair is trying to be level-headed. Sid's not having it, right? But do you know what would really help this situation? If a brand new wrestler just emerged, right? So what we need here is for a brand new wrestler to make their debut, and it's going to happen any second. You're on the world stage. You've only got time to make the first impression one time, and look, here it is. Oh, fucked it already. The head's off. Oh, absolutely fucked it. Oh, man. Terrible. Let's see that again. Just fell right into it. Let's see that again. So we could pause it. Let's see how it's supposed to have went. So maybe like a kick and a punch at the same time would have helped. But no, if you punch the top, then your bottom. Nah, he's fallen here. Look at the belly, just clearing a lot of material. Because by this point his hands are both through. So see from really here onwards. It's just gravity in the belly that's ripping out. Look at that, man. Look at it all just get ripped out. Oh, he's still going. This is like when you go frame by frame on 9/11 and you're like, ah, right, aye, I can see. Gravity does weird things, doesn't it? Luckily for him, the fire totally masked it, so we can't. Fuck's sake. And then, to add insult to injury, get snakeskin trousers, cowboy boots, and your rhinestone stormtrooper helmet fell off. How embarrassing, man. Fucked it, mate. Covered in like your own glitter for your own helmet. Oh. So if you thought you were having a bad day at work, imagine you were the Shockmaster. That was uploaded to the internet 30 years after it originally happened, and even though it was uploaded 30 years after it happened, it still got 3.3 million views. Unreal. Absolutely unreal. Total scenes. You'd be raging. Anyway. So that there was Fred Ottoman. Didn't John Tenta get punished for something as well? That's why he was in the oddities. I've not seen too much of you know me, I'm not right into the Alien franchise. But I will check out the new thing, because Rachel and I are always looking for stuff to watch. I wish Bonnie, what's her name, sang all of the Meatloaf songs. Aye. Is it Bonnie Tyler? Aye. For a second I thought she was Scottish, but she isn't. She's from England? Wales? Well, aye, Welsh. I knew she wasn't English. Welsh. Some chanters down there in Wales, by the way. Looks a little like Andy Cabbage, he does a wee bit. Hello everyone, and 1030. Hello Randy Marsh 227. I saw this project on YouTube a while ago for generating your own TV channels. Might be a cool way of doing the wrestling if you get a big collection of them. 1030 bumpers and ad breaks and all that. That sounds like a good idea, Randy Marsh. I'm into it. When, a wee while ago, I started doing some feedback stuff in OBS. So I was using OBS almost like a video synth. And I've created lots of like 1030 logos, but just fed back into itself and got loads of really cool emergent stuff from it that I think would be good to use as like interstitial graphics or something. So I think it'd be cool to have like stuff that it's fine if it gets spoiled on in the background, like old wrestling for 40, 50 years ago, classic Simpsons, stuff like that. Just make good use of the telly. And then if any subs or bits or anything like that happens, it all happens here. Don't know what's going on here though. I think that's maybe my video. That's bits of this video or something. Let's have a wee look. Couldn't tell you what's happening. Ah well. Sid is who every wrestling fan wishes a big man wrestler was. Sid was good, man. I quite like Sid's entrance music. Was just like an alarm or something. It was wild. Tuna Bistro says that hair is amazing, man. Like my hair, Tuna Bistro. I've usually got it illuminated, but I had to turn the light off. I had to plug some stuff in. Hold on. Right, step 1 is done. Then step 2 is this here. This is really something that should be done after stream, but the way I operate is I just get stuff done live when it happens. So now HAL should be illuminated again, and then what I could do, there we go, is turn this light on. And then... Aye, there we go. There we go. Here is good. That'll give you a real 3D perception of my hair. But guess what, folks? I'm losing it. See up here? It's all disappearing. Just in the past maybe month I've noticed that. I'm losing the hair. I'm losing the hair. Anyway. So it looks like Rachel and I will be watching the Alien thing. That's kind of cool. Poor Sting put up with so much crap like this throughout his career. Sting's no wrestling, no way. Sid, aye, there we go. Oh, I Sting with like just different like Shockmaster related stunts and stuff like that. I never get right into Sting, mainly because I didn't really watch WCW. I need to try and get back into No Man's Sky. Tried to play it on stream once, wasn't digging the vibe. Hugh TV, you shouldn't be able to hear the wrestling, no, because that would get me in trouble. Oh, and the other one as well, I just didn't press play, sorry, on the audio. Everyone stand between the camera and the focus point with your giant square bodies, now botch the stunt. It's a wee shame, man. Imagine you waiting for your wrestling debut on the phone to like your WWF, they signed me. Can you believe that? They signed me, WWF. Right, make sure you're watching it on Friday. Could you record it as well? And then Friday. Oh, you just want the world to swallow you up, wouldn't you? Poor big laddie. It's a wee shame, man. I was thinking that I was watching Cudder's stream just before I came live, and I was watching that dating show. And I just thought, man, like, I was beginning to get, you know, the sort of thoughts that you get when you're on acid or DMT or something like that. I was just looking at all these hopeful dating contestants. And then I'm looking at stuff like this. And I'm just thinking, like, we're all wee puddings, man. Every one of us. We're just trying our best, aren't we? Despite everything. And it's a shame for all of us, man. It's a shame for the Irish dating contestants. It's a shame for the Shockmaster. It's a wee shame for whoever is there. Who is that? Arn Anderson, we've been told. Man, talk about Nightmare Blunt rotation. I don't care about any of they guys. That's not Sean, is it? It isn't. It's not a young Sean. He's kind of behaving like Sean. Is that Sean when he was in the Rockers? I think it might be. He's kicking like Sean. Is that... I think it is. He's moving about like him. I think that's a Shawn Michaels. I think that's a very young Shawn Michaels. But I might be wrong. Let's watch another ad. Many fucking ads does this Royal Rumble video have? I know, Stevja. I could just log in and thus circumvent all the ads. Jigsaw Dust, The Loft is hot. I love the Alien franchise. Fun fact, Blade Runner and Alien exist in the same fictional universe. Dallas worked for the Tyrell Corporation. Really? Well, there you go. Doesn't Alien and loads of other things share the same universe because of Prometheus and all of that? I didn't watch all of that. It's on his profile on Aliens. Ridley Scott confirmed it too. Well, there you go. I meant the white mullet of the guy in the wrestling scene, but your hair is fabulous. Thank you, Tuner Bistro. I appreciate you saying that even after I asked you. Predator is the same universe. When the Synth and Predator Badlands reboots, it is a Wayland Yutani logo in its eyes. Well, there you go. I mean, why is that done at a production level? Was it all made by the same director or people? I don't know too much about Alien. It's just passed me by. Been getting some weird glitches and a bit framey sometimes. Has everybody else been getting some weird glitches and a bit framey? It looks like ever since I've come back online, it hasn't dropped any frames, so that's good. But do let me know. Do let me know. Anyway. I was wondering about that. Does it also mean that Predator... I don't know anything about all of this. Feel free to forward it. So aye, is that the Rockers? Aye, that is Shawn Michaels, Marty Jannetty. They're the Rockers. He just didn't look like himself because he was so young. I think he wasn't as lean and stuff back then as well. He just looked like a normal guy, but with mental hair. Anyway. So this is very much still in the steroid era with the big guys into it. Aye, because they've just put Andre out. For some reason, I'm thinking this is a lot sooner than what it is. It's older than what I'm thinking. It wasn't the Big Show. Big Show's not in this. No. But I don't know. It is a wee shame, Channel 13. It's a wee shame for all of us. It is Sean, everybody's saying. Cool. The canon isn't always smooth, though. Right, aye. It's just making good films for people to like, isn't it? I saw a few minutes of Welsh wrestling from the 80s or something a week or so ago. Well, there you go. The hype before Prometheus came out was huge with the teaser talk promo. I avoided all of that. I thought to myself when Prometheus was coming out, I might watch that after I've watched all of the Alien films again, and then all of the Predator films again, and I'm just like, ah. So I just let Prometheus happen, and it went away. Twitch has been a fickle for a bit this week. Well, I seem to be kind of good now. I had a bad go of it when I first went live, but for now going forward, seems good. Is that Andy Cabbage himself? It is. It is. Oh, yeah, brother. It's Andy Cabbage, folks. Stream looks fine. Thank you, Martin. OBS shut the bed 3 times during my stream today. I had an awful bother coming on, John Atfield. I had a fine stream earlier, although my stream at the start of the day didn't ask me about... Usually when I hit go live, because I'm using Stream Elements, I get like a custom prompt where I have to type in the name for like my YouTube stream, the Twitter stream, Twitch streams, all that. None of that happened. I just hit go live today and it just took me straight to Twitch. So I was like, all right, fair enough. But then Jimmy 2 streams, the second stream that I've done, it was a pain in the arse to get it all working. It was awful. I had to restart my computer and all of that. It all started because of an Easter egg from the set designers in Predator 2 when Danny Glover's character enters the Predator ship. At the end, there is a xenomorph skull in the wall because the set designers and prop builders thought it would be cool. Then it spun it into the comics, the game, and the film. Interesting. There you go. Cool. I didn't know anything about it. Ridley Scott stated the characters from Alien might frequent a bar near where Deckard lives. Do you know what? I can't picture Deckard interacting with like Sigourney Weaver, but there you go. Okay, that's me got to the bottom of the stream. What we could maybe do is have a wee look for a game to play rather than sitting here watching Royal Rumble with the sound off. So the last time I loaded up Steam, I had a wee bit of bother because I think Steam was doing automatic downloads in the background. So let's have a wee squiz. Alright, so here is a game. I don't know if you're still in B. Dolan, but there was chat of us playing Peak. And Peak right now on my Steam is £3.96 as opposed to £6.39. So I'm going to get it just now because Peak is on offer, and a week today we're going to be playing Peak with various different people. So if those people don't have Peak, it's on offer currently and you should know about it. 12 hours of Prometheus. Oh shit, that is another thing I forgot to tell you about. So, here's the deal. I don't really know how this started, right? But, well, I do know how it started, kinda, but it doesn't matter. What I'm saying is it's no my thing. Downloaded complete peak. Your game is ready to play. Excellent. I'm not going to play it just now though. I have created a 12-hour video for B. Dolan. Oh, goodness me. Nice EXE. Cal, how you doing? Welcome in. Your profile picture should appear here. It does. Nice EXE, how you doing? Thank you very much for subbing. Welcome in. And how's it going? And also, how's it even going? You just used to be called Nice EXE, didn't you? And then you've added the Cal. How long ago was that? I'm usually quite observant to this sort of stuff. Thanks very much for subbing. How you doing? Welcome in. How's it even going? I really, really appreciate it. If you're just in, we were talking about, I made a bit of art, everybody. I made a bit of art, okay? I ripped off Douglas Gordon. So Douglas Gordon in like 1992, Douglas Gordon's a Scottish artist, right? Like you're talking art galleries level artist. None of this like, oh, I do illustrations on my iPad. No, that type of artist. Real art with a capital A, right? Douglas Gordon made some work called 24 Hours. Sorry, that wasn't his shots fired, John Atfield, who's got the word art with a capital A in their actual name. Didn't mean that. I should just stop speaking. Anyway, let's move on. Let's not say, like, accuse anybody who did what or who's diminishing anybody of anything. We'll move on. Douglas Gordon, right, made a bit of work called 24 Hour Psycho. It was like 1992 or something like that. I didn't mean to even fire any shots or anything like that. 24 Hour Psycho. So it's the film Psycho stretched over 24 hours, right? And in the 90s, this was like a difficult thing to make because doing any sort of media art in the 90s was difficult. How do you get a film to play over the course of 24 hours? That's really difficult. How do we do that, right? So my mate Paul, who makes music under Quiet and Peaceful Man, see that guy in the SoundCloud, right? That guy, Paul Maguire, happened to be the technical assistant of Douglas Gordon when 24 Hour Psycho was made. So for context, 24 Hour Psycho, it's got a Wikipedia and everything. So the vibe is you would go and see it in a gallery, and in the gallery the film is playing over the course of 24 hours. So it's 1993. And over the course of 24 hours, it means you're seeing like 2 frames a second. This is in foreign. Am I on my... No, I'm not on a VPN. I must have just landed on an international website. So 24 Hour Psycho, right? It was first shown in Tramway, and it became a thing. It's like internationally known piece of video art called 24 Hour Psycho, right? And he made it, and that was a vibe. Paul, that I know, was the technical assistant on it. Because how do you make a film stretch 24 hours in 1993? Well, here is a bit of exclusive behind-the-scenes information that I don't think any art people know or anything like that. I only know this because I enjoy having a smoke with Paul from time to time. I will tell you all the inner secrets of 24 Hour Psycho by Douglas Gordon. Turns out, not exactly 24 hours. It's not exactly 24 hours, right? But a razzle-dazzle was used in its marketing. It's not exactly 24 hours. How? Well... There he is, man, the big man. Technically, it would have cost a lot of money to actually get a video production company to take the video and stretch it and like somehow burn that to multiple VHS cassettes or something. You can't do that, man. In 1993, you just can't do that. That would have been cost prohibitive. That would have cost some like £250,000, right, to get a bit of video treated like that. And then what, you going to play it back via like a hard drive somewhere? Technology in this point, like, right? So what did they do? Well, I tell you, for 24 Hour Psycho by Douglas Gordon, the reason that it isn't 24 hours exactly is because they used a VHS player that had a jog wheel on it. Does everybody remember them? So they just got like a shop bought version of Psycho, VHS, rewinded it to the start, put it in, and there used to be a physical jog wheel on high-end VHS players. So if you just pressed the jog wheel slightly, it would pause the video and just sort of frame by frame start going through it. But if you pushed the jog wheel quite a bit, it would fast forward it. So you could sort of high-speed dubbing precisely find a bit in the tape that you wanted. So what Paul did for Douglas Gordon was got one of these VHS players with the jog wheel on it, found a station just there on the jog wheel where it would play about 2 frames a second. Then he got lots of duct tape and just taped the jog wheel in that position, which was approximately 24 hours, but it wasn't actually 24 hours. And that there is how world famous video art 24-hour Psycho in 1993 was made. And here's the deal, that piece of information probably doesn't exist anywhere, because I was told it in confidence by a friend who trusted that I wouldn't retell it in public. And here we are, look at us, here we are. Anyway, why am I talking about 24-Hour Psycho by Douglas Gordon for 1993? I tell you, B. Dolan, who is in chat, friend of the stream B. Dolan, has got a whole meme about watching 12 hours of Terminator 2, right? I think he is going to watch 12 hours of Terminator 2. And that's been going for a bit, right? So he's got his own patter happening because Terminator 2 is bubbling. I kept referencing the T-1000, then made a channel redeem for 2 minutes of Terminator 2. Then we joked we were going to watch Terminator 2 for 12 hours. Then, ... So then, I think I was trying to get to sleep. I was procrastinating, and I didn't have much work on, right? And so I was thinking about B. Dolan's 12 hours of Terminator 2, and then I was thinking of Douglas Gordon's 24 hours of Psycho, and then I thought, wait a wee minute, I sort of know kind of how to do that. So I've made T212H, which stands for Terminator 2 12 hours, and it even has got audio. Look at this, man. Look at this weird art that I made. It's even got audio. So the audio doesn't sound great, right? But it's definitely something. It's captivating, man. And because we're watching it back at a fifth of the speed, you can completely see where, like, that previous shot of Arnie was obviously the bike's totally stationary. And this is obviously a stunt performer. But I love how slow and pish it is. So some of this is very, very, very captivating. The sound isn't in sync as well. So in order to generate 12 hours, I couldn't just export. Like, I had to do stuff in FFmpeg and things like that. So the sound goes out of sync. So I think what I would like to do is make, like, the ultimate best version of 12-hour cut of Terminator 2. That stunt performer looks a wee bit like Elon Musk, doesn't he? It is weirdly compelling, it really is. You're going to make a 25-hour Psycho? John Hatfield asks, in regard to the 24-hour Psycho thing, how did that affect the actual tape itself? No idea, I didn't ask, John Hatfield. Not a clue. Not a clue. Oh, Hammy says, now that you have a nice blank wall, maybe you should experiment with a projector as another screen. You could physically label the CRTs on the wall with new sub. I tried that. So I had, where is it? I bought this ages ago, and that was one of the main reasons that I was trying out a projector over here. So this is a Magnavox. Do you remember we watched a stream of somebody who was making paintings, and she was kind of like an old hippie, and she lived in a caravan, and she was telling people, oh, I'm going to make a painting for Tad, and he works at a restaurant. Do you remember we watched this YouTuber? I can't remember if it was Todd. and she didn't like the guy's wife, because I think she maybe liked the guy. But then some other wee dude just appeared that was her wee pal, and they were going to buy art supplies and stuff. Do you remember all of that? Anyway, that YouTuber recommended this Magnasonic thing that I got dirt cheap off of eBay. And so when I was first setting this up, that was my number one thing, was actually for retro reflective sheet and this projector just right here. And it did kind of work, but not to the level that I wanted it to work. It just looked a bit too shite. It looked too shite. So the problem would be getting the camera settings right in order to expose the projector properly. But if my camera is exposing the projector properly, everything else then needs to like go to those settings. But I've already painted myself into a corner when it comes to camera settings, because I'm shooting a 50 hertz CRT on a 60 FPS output. And oh no, is Macho Man and Hulk going to kick off? Elizabeth, you get out there. This can't end well. This can't end well, Elizabeth. You're in the danger zone, mate. Get out of there. It didn't end well for Elizabeth, did it? Really? Anyway, not to get bleak. But somebody's going to get smacked in the mouth. What's kicking off here? Oh yeah, Elizabeth. I don't like that man. What's going to happen? They're waiting for something to happen. Somebody's going to run out or something's going to happen. It looks to me like Hulk should be doing a thing, but he's dragging the arse out it and he's not doing the thing. So is Hulk going to smack him or something? I think there's a spot. Is it here? He's going to shake his hand and then... right, we're still in the Rumble. We're still in the Rumble. Right. Well, get Elizabeth out of the ring if there's still a match on. Jesus Christ. Yes, everybody. American heroes. American heroes. Aye. Anyway. Channel 13 says, I saw Douglas Gordon do a talk in the 90s about this work. There you go. Did he mention the thing about the jog wheel? Because I've only heard that from Paul. But there you go. A wee bit of top secret information there. I remember when jog wheels felt like the future. 100%, man. 100%. Could speed it up or down either to fit it 6 times or just slow it down and you watch it all in slow motion. It had to fit 12 hours though, was the deal. So this is 5 times sped up. Well, sorry, 5 times slowed down. And you can totally tell the stunt performer's got like a rubber mask on. But look at me just overwhelming you with different areas of stimulation. We've got Terminator 2, a 12-hour version. We've got Royal Rumble behind me. Got like, oh, it's all kicking off, man. I'm wearing my glasses. That's novel. Yeah. But I really like how shaky all the camera work is. But it's a nice controlled shaky where you don't really notice it, but nothing's in focus except for the faces and things. And when you're watching it back at real speed, it just looks effortless, but that must have taken quite a bit of work to film in the LA sewers or wherever it is. But I'm telling you, man, Terminator 2, 90-minute version, strangely compelling. Let's skip ahead. That's when they're... Again, it's not in sync. I'm going to try and get it in sync, because when a couple of things do land, it's cool. So it goes out of sync and then back in sync about 6 times over the course of 12 hours here. But it's cool. What about this bit? Rachel and I often have got this scene in our heads, like intrusive thoughts sort of stuff. I'm like, you alright? She's like, I was just thinking, the fence bit in Terminator 2. And I was like, I got you. think that's a commonality that we both have. Anyway, I don't want to lean into B. Dolan content. Look at that, man. Like, how was that achieved? How is this? How are they doing that? That looks all in camera. I'll turn down the audio just a wee bit because I don't think it's as successful as it could be. Apparently, after they made this, some bomb boffins got in touch and says thank you for depicting a nuclear explosion happen in the way that you did, because films don't get it right. And apparently, that's brutal to see in slow motion, isn't it? Jesus Christ. Apparently they got it right in this one. Is that a puppet? It looks like a puppet, doesn't it? Jesus Christ. It's an amazing film. How did they achieve that? So this shot here, apparently, was the one that got them a lot of accolades from like bomb boffins. They were saying it's the first time that a devastating nuclear bomb had been depicted accurately. And I've no idea how they even did it, man. Don't know. I do have the collector's tin. It looks as if a soft wipe is happening, but I don't quite know how. I do have the Terminator 2 collector's tin edition. This is all miniatures. And I get that. What an incredible film, am I right, everybody? Oh, how did you go on in Las Vegas, Hammy? Totally forgot about it. Sorry, I've not been looking at chat at all. I've just been blithering away. It's not T2 12 hours, it's T2 12.0285 hours. I know, I'm 15 seconds over. If Cutburger hits 10k, I will take my eyes open and watch this on Twitch. Maybe you should watch it in a loop on Twitch until Cutburger hits 10k. That's only 5k per eyeball. Mike Almond says T2 24 days next with some weird AI frame interpolation and Paul Stretch or something. I originally tried using Paul Stretch for the sound, and then I couldn't get good results from Paul Stretch. It just didn't sound as good as audio stretching it live in Ableton, and then changing the interpolation mode to Complex Pro, and then I put a wee bit of Valhalla reverb on it, and it sounds like this. And it sounds good, man. But those frequencies do get a wee bit grating after about 12 hours. Jesus Christ. Like, imagine getting that shot and everything's on fire. See, even just a wee incidental shot in this film, just mind-blowing how they could have achieved it. This is surely Rick Baker. I can't believe I'm pausing a 12-hour version. I'm pausing to talk about it. Jesus Christ. I'm pausing the 12-hour stretched version just in case we miss some when I'm talking about a bit of it. Jesus Christ. Like, look at all of this. Is that a separate model by that point? Because they did cut away. Surely that's a separate model. Oh, it was just a dream. And there she is. Anyway. That's a 12-hour version of Terminator 2 that may or may not be viewed on B. Dolan's stream at some point. But I tried Paul Stretch and it was just better with Ableton Live. The hardest bit of that entire debacle was that it was 12 hours. I mean, obviously. But I think what I need to do is do like 1 hour chunks and then concat them all together. Who's this lad? Don't recognise him. Don't recognise him at all. I don't think 19 1982 or whenever this was a good year for the wrestling. And that's Brutus the Barber Beefcake, obviously. Bearded Bozo. I've just been sick in bed since Sunday and watched 6 Jurassic Park movies back to back. I'm now convinced from my favourite state the Uncharted and Last of Us directly reference the original 3 movies, and by the time we get to Jurassic World Domination, it in turn directly references Uncharted and The Last of Us. It sounds like you've got a YouTube essay on your hands there, Hammy. That sounds wild. I'm glad you're a wee bit better now, Jings. So it was the Las Vegas illness. I did Vegas, then San Francisco, back to back, caught something on the way home. Brutal. And was Las Vegas totally dead, as the internet would have us believe? I think we ended up in a rabbit hole of eccentric folk on YouTube, including the guy that collects plastic chairs. Aye. Well, it was one of those eccentric folk that recommended my Magnasonic projector, but it didn't work out. Remember about Hulk Hogan? Aye. I do remember about Hulk Hogan. Who was in today when I told Steve Austin that Hulk Hogan died? They didn't take it very well. Terrible Clint says you're going to get neck issues doing this. I've already got neck issues. If anything, this is exercise and strengthens it more. I've got bad neck issues. Anyway. A wee bit of old wrestling in Terminator 2, fine evening. I want things on in this. Maybe one day it's Terminator 2 that's just on in the background here. You know what I mean? I'll need to vet everything for nudity and blood. I wonder if those little shakes are why practical effects feel better. Well, I mean, what you're saying there's an implication there that practical effects are always better than digital effects. And in order to answer your comment, I would need to go along with that implication as if it was true. But what I would say is practical effects aren't always better than digital effects. It's just when digital effects are done poorly, you notice them. You know what I mean? It's the toupee fallacy. Sometimes. Fish Supper, how you doing? Fred's doing alright. His face shape has changed a wee bit, and his eyes are sort of bulging a wee bit. But I think it's because he's on steroids and because he's lost a wee bit of weight. Hugh TV says, is the gap between each frame the same? On the Terminator video that I just showed you, no, it isn't, because the full thing's all been done not well. But if I was doing it properly, the gap between each frame would be the same. But in this version, it isn't. It's the LA River. It's a man-made river to stop the mountains flooding the city. Really? I thought it was something to do with the sewers. That's interesting. Kind of looks like it's going 2 frames at a time, or is that because it's through Twitch? It's not been done well. So, here was my idea. I used ChatGPT to make this long version of Terminator 2, right? So, my thinking was that in Terminator, right, if this video is running at 24 frames per second and is 90 minutes, for example, can't remember the runtime of Terminator 2, but say, for example, it is 25 frames a second at 90 minutes, ask ChatGPT, what happens if I don't re-encode that video? Can I just go in and like change the metadata of the video so that instead of running at 24 frames per second, it runs at like 2 point something frames a second or 5 point something frames per second? Ultimately, to make the video duration be 12 hours. ChatGPT's like, right, give me a minute. Right, okay, fire this into FFmpeg. So I did, just gave me a big bit of gumph, put that into FFmpeg, and what ChatGPT did was take the video, but not re-encode it, just play it back at a shorter frame rate. But in the process of doing that, it kind of broke the standards and format of what the video is and stuff like that. So at the start of the film, it is sort of convincingly playing back at a stable frame rate. But then at the end of the film, it's all a bit haywire. say. It's sort of pausing after 3 or 4 frames. He's a scary bastard, isn't he, man? What a film. What a film. I need to just stop watching it. And was there a cut in that whip pan? I think there was. Because other Sarah Connor... Oh, it's all scary. Look at the way he's lit and everything, man. No, it isn't other Sarah Connor. Anyway. Who am I, B. Dolan, sitting watching Terminator 2 on stream? Nah. Anyway. My mum let me see this when I was 5, says Beanie. Aye, I saw stuff that I shouldn't have when I was young. Not for my parents, but aye. I remember I went into my neighbour's house when I was a child and they put on The Exorcist. And I don't even think I was in high school. Shut me up. Properly shut me up. But Hugh TV, very good eyeballs on you for noting that temporal inconsistency. Why does she yell to that kid to stop swinging anyway? Let him swing. I know. If the guy's maybe got 2 swings left in his entire life and you're interrupting his penultimate swing, Sarah Connor, come on. Anyway. Rough day for the extras, 100%. I think her twin was part of that sequence as well. But I don't know. She played the sort of younger, not younger version, the alternate version of Sarah Connor a couple of times. Anyway, how we's all doing? I feel like this slow-mo puppet destruction and nuclear fire might accidentally be seen as TOS on YouTube or Twitch, kind of like how Mortal Kombat gets flagged for violence. Probably. I don't think Twitch will care unless somebody reports me. But with YouTube, I will probably come off stream to an email for YouTube just going, don't do that again, man. Don't show bad bits for Terminator 2 again, mate. The fighting game we were showing won the show. Maybe you can do a crit on the UI one stream. Maybe I can. Hammy, congratulations. That is amazing. After like months or maybe even years of work. That is brilliant. Congratulations, man. Sound translates all over the place. Aye. It's unfinished, this 12 hours version of Terminator 2. It's unfinished. Will it ever be finished? No. You never saw the model from the start. It could have been ballistic gel all over plaster bones. Exactly. You just don't know. I would have... So it's Stan Winston in it, did Terminator 2. Stan Winston's amazing. And everybody should be aware that StanWinstonSchool.com exists. And Stan Winston's School is great. I've just clicked a sponsored ad for it, so it isn't loading because I've got ad block. Stan Winston's School's brilliant, right? See if you are into watching people make things. How do you make eyeballs out of, like, cast resin or whatever? How do you make the makeup effects in Terminator 2? By the guy who did the makeup in Terminator 2? How do you do, like, miniatures and visual effects and stuff like that? What I really liked on the Stan Winston website is BJ Geyer, right? He makes a puppet, makes like a Henson puppet. He's worked for Henson before. And he's got multiple tutorials on how to make Henson puppets. This is how I get into the Stan Winston School of Character Arts website. It costs money, right? You need to subscribe. However, I believe that if you press subscribe, there might be a month for free. And that month for free is tied into your email address. So see if you've got multiple email addresses, you can get multiple months for free. And if you've got an extension for Chrome called something like DWL Downloader, I think it's called, that will let you download the videos that you're seeing in your trial version of the Stan Winston School of Character Arts. I mean, obviously, if you've got money, just pay for the money. But if you don't have money, like me, you will have found ways of learning for free. Stan Winston School of Character Arts is great. Even if it's stuff that you yourself might not decide to do. Like, I would never get into effects makeup, right? However, quite entertaining just like falling asleep watching experts in their field do this. Like, how do you do slip casting and stuff like that? Here's like a wee ad for one of the courses. He's making an animatronic ET by the looks of it. So how do you make an animatronic ET? Everything from like coding the electronics to like building, sculpting, silicon. It sounds like I'm doing an advert for it. I'm really not. I've just told you how to pirate it. You get a free 7-day trial. I can recommend it. I should be on some sort of referral link, shouldn't I? I just found it was very good. I quite liked it. Let me know if anybody gets into it and makes something. I love just making things, man. Hello, Roscoe in chat. It's funny how nominative determinism is so apparent in wrestling. Guy called The Undertaker gets a job as The Undertaker, 100%. How's it going, man? We were just talking about nominative determinism in work. Don't know if yous are familiar with BBC weather presenter Joy Dunlop. This is Joy. Yous know Joy if you're Scottish. She's cool. She looks like this. And Joy left the room. And the person that was working with went, "Never have I seen a more clear-cut case for nominative determinism, because she's just always in a brilliant mood, and her name is Joy." And we all laughed, the colleague laugh that we do. Oh, ho, 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 ho. So it's funny that the nominative determinism as a concept has just appeared in front of me twice in the 1 week. Anyway, all right, Roscoe, how you doing? Welcome in. I often find myself quoting John Connor when reading the news. We don't make it, do we? People, I mean. Exactly, cheeky Nandor. Anyway, where are we? Dawn thinks that 12-hour Terminator 2 needs to be slowed down. I was thinking we do a 12-hour version followed by a 12-second version. Just for a bit of balance. Don't know. Anyway, it's Honky Tonk. Who have we got? Don't recognise. Ted DiBiase. But I don't recognise the big guy. We should just have games of who's that wrestler. Aye, Roscoe. Roscoe, are you still in? Look what I'm drinking. Several giraffes. I knew Roscoe was in my brain for some reason. Couldn't figure out what it was. Earlier on, I was slating you because of the several thing. I'm drinking several giraffes. I was slagging you earlier about several thing. Is there any clips of Stone Cold here in the news? No, Emmett, but there should be. I'll look it out. I'll stick it on Twitter or something. Husey, not new glasses. These are just glasses that I wear when I'm off stream. I typically don't wear glasses on stream because of the bubble blasts. However, we've changed the bubble blast to sort of happen behind me. So now I get to wear glasses on stream again. And sometimes I need glasses on stream. Weird how none of them are called The Wrestler, though, really makes you think. I imagine if any one of them was called The Wrestler, he would get to be in that film. Also, like, you never have a group of janitors, but one of them is called The Wrestler. But you always see one of them called The Janitor in a group of wrestlers, don't you? Makes you think. Man, I really didn't clean these at all there. I need a better cloth. I was really impressed by the later fight where T-1000 gets slammed into a wall and just flips himself the right way. The film is perfection, it really is. The more you watch it and the slower you watch it is really good. Emmett says, I messaged a friend with, a streamer I follow has a Stone Cold Steven. Stone Cold Steven. I really like Stone Cold Steven. A Stone Cold Stephen, AI programmed to be versed in cognitive behavioural therapy that answers via a landline telephone. Perhaps footage will acclimatise their bewilderment to such an insane message. I mean, I did tell him. I did tell him. Steroids will cause retention. My neighbour is going through it for a few years. Reminds me of my dad. All the very best, man. Not sure Vegas felt that dead. We were at EVO at the convention centre, which was packed. Aye, fair enough. See, Riley, good evening. How you doing? A cool thing to show behind you would be you performing magic tricks. Aye, deal. I'm going to have episodes of The Simpsons, some wrestling, just bits and pieces of stuff. You went on Elan's Tunnel? How was it? Did you have to queue for ages to get into the tunnel? Not this weekend, the weekend after you're invited. All right, right. Next weekend coming. Fucking trips me up all the time, man. Trips me up all the time. Dearie me. There's another set of twins as well. The mustachioed policeman. Aye. 100%. Marvel Toko. Look at you with your tilde over the O and everything. I don't think that's called a tilde if it's... what would it be called? A diacritic over the O? Does that come under the definition of diacritics? I think it might. But you've been promoting this game for ages if you're actually using the correct accents over your vowels and everything, Hammy. Stan Winston's school does a great Black Friday deal normally. Oh, well, there you go. Amazing, Maggie. It's very good, isn't it? 2.5 years on the one game in secret. That's class, man. I'm right in the middle of some of the BJ Guy and stuff. Maggie, cool. Did you see I started but didn't finish a puppet? I started and didn't finish 2 puppets. Maggie, next time you're in, if I could easily go to the loft just now, I would show you 2 of the BJ Geyer things. The first one that I made just is far too small for my hand, but it's more or less made. I ended up using the puppet, the Antron fleece and stuff like that as well. I need to finish that puppet, man. But the BJ Geyer stuff was so good. So good. Oh, nice one, Hammy. That looks cool. Is it a PlayStation exclusive? You know me, I'm not really into fighting games myself. But it would be cool to be into it. Tiger Tam says, hello 1030, I was watching the old Rust stream earlier. Absolutely top notch. Thank you, Tiger Tam. Where did you find the stream? Because I don't think I've archived it. Tiger Tam, thank you very much. Welcome in. How's it going? I wouldn't mind watching myself in Rust. The hype is peak. As the FGC say, it was wild to experience it in person. We took the whole team down to Vegas to get a first-hand feel of it. That's amazing. I got the year deal in Stan Winston last year at Black Friday, but I've just now started barreling down the puppet paths. Amazing. Joy Dunlop, NW500. What's the NW500? The Scottish North Coast? Probably. Joy is a legend in lots of musical circles, weather circles, presenting circles. There's a wee annoying fly cutting about and I didn't quite catch it. Did you see the fly? It isn't just flying in a normal pattern, it's flying like this in quite an annoying way. But yes, very most likely the same person. Where are we? I never knew Gail. Gail was before my time. As soon as that was the name, I was thinking Roscoe's got 5 minutes out of this. Tocon has long O and 2 syllables. Tocon. It's none of my business. That's between you and Roscoe. Big John Studd. Is that who he is? I don't recognise him either. The several thing makes sense. I know, mate. I know. I'm not saying it Disney. Just saying we're all wee puddings sometimes. Get some isopropyl for cleaning your gex, man. Nothing else comes close. Big Scary Deer, I would be a wee bit worried about using isopropyl alcohol on my glasses because my glasses have got an acetate frame. So, because I've got isopropyl alcohol, wouldn't that mist or cloud the acetate frame? Because I think that would be... It'd be fine if the frames were metal or something like that. But I don't really know. I don't really know. Do you know who will know? Stone Cold Steve Austin. Let's get him on the blower. He might not be in, actually. He might not be in.
Austin.
Stone Cold, Stevie man, how's it going? It's me.
Well, hell, look who rolled in, Jimmy. I'm here, fired up, and ready to raise a little therapeutic hell. What's going on in that head of yours today, and where do you want to start? Tell me what's pissing you off or weighing you down so we can stomp a mud hole in it and walk it dry. Anything specific you want help with right now?
Yes. I am thinking about how to clean my spectacles, okay? And I was under the advice that if I use isopropyl alcohol to clean my glasses, then that will clean them very good. However, the frame is made from acetate, and so I'm a bit worried that the isopropyl alcohol will cloud or otherwise, damage the acetate frames. And now that I come to think of it, even the lenses themselves are probably plastic. Can you verify if it's okay for me to use isopropyl alcohol on my glasses? Because I really don't think that it is, Stone Cold.
You've got good instincts, Jimbo. Straight shot, do not use isopropyl alcohol on acetate frames or most plastic lenses. It can dry out, cloud, or crack the acetate and can mess with lens coatings like anti-reflective or blue light filters. Safer play is lukewarm water with a drop of mild dish soap. Rub with clean fingers, rinse, then dry with a clean microfiber cloth. For smudges on the go, use lens cleaner specifically labeled safe for coated lenses and plastics. Avoid hot water, vinegar, window cleaner, acetone, or anything gritty. Want me to help you set up a quick cleaning routine or pick a solid, safe lens spray?
Nah, I'm all right. Thank you very much, Austin, though. You've really helped me out here.
Glad it helped, Jimbo. If anything else pops up you want to tackle, big or small, I've got your back. Need help with anything else before we wrap this up? If not, take it easy, keep those specs shining, and that's the bottom line, 'cause Stone Cold said so.
Yeah, later.
Stone Cold Steve Austin, everybody. Stone Cold Steve Austin. What a guy, man. Off-world, though, you can probably clean them with bubble juice. I think I can. I think I'll... Oh, no, I didn't catch Didn't catch them in my Glex. Off-world, thank you very much for 43 months. How you doing, Carla? Welcome in. What's even happening, mate? How's it going? I'm trying something new where I'm just sort of streaming copyrighted content behind me on a monitor. Just to see. I think I'll up my retention a wee bit. It's kind of similar to people that make TikToks, but with like mobile games in the background and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Just trying it out. There we go. It was looking a bit dark. There we go. I'll make it nice for you. Yep, more saturation. Contrast could maybe go down. Anyway. Who's this guy in the mad colourful leotard? It reminds me of my autism trousers. Did you see the beta announce trailer? We put a load of them in there. We broke Max's brain with the announce. I don't know anything about this, man. I saw you sent me a trailer on here, didn't you? So, big scary dear, Stone Cold Steve Austin disagrees with your isopropyl alcohol thing. It might work if your lenses don't have any coatings on them, they're glass lenses, and also your frames aren't plastic or acetate. It might work under those circumstances. But other than that, went to work today and found out Stevie, the bookie for Still Games, a driver for that company. Oh, nice one there, Tony. That's class. Channel 13 says I use dish soap. Perfect, 100%. You need a microfiber cloth, though. Microfiber is terrible for drying stuff, but really useful for getting like smudges out of lenses and things. Here, 10:30. Who was it that thought that Neil was called Neil again? It was my mate's dad, my friend, who actually I saw recently. To tell you that story will make me angry, and I don't know if I need to tell you that story, so I won't. But I had a mate, and his dad genuinely thought the main character in The Matrix was called Neil with an L. Anyway, to cut a long story short, because I sort of hinted that there was a story there and then I didn't tell you, and who would do that? The mate that I was telling you about used to be a very, very close mate. We aligned politically on everything. We even marched together ages ago on a pro-Palestine demo. We've marched at anti, G8 protests, all of that sort of stuff when we were a lot younger. Anyway, what he does nowadays, he's like a mad Mossad PR guy. He stands in Buchanan Street at a stall with Israel flags all over it, telling people that, no, it's fine. That's what he does now, and I believe he gets paid for it. Anyway. You were watching Rust streams on Limmy? Interesting. Aye, Mon will get a Rust server on the go, man. So it was that guy's da. See the guy that I just mentioned there? His da thought the main guy in The Matrix was called Neil. He uses a macron, the line above the O in tocon. I need to put my glasses on. Well, before you put them on, don't clean them with isopropyl alcohol, as we've just agreed. Can we have the breathing exercises on the big screen? For example, breathe for 4 seconds, then hold for 7 seconds, then breathe out for 8 seconds. We can, Big Scary Deer, but I didn't do the... I didn't finish that animation. Maggie, was it me that got you started on the Stan Winston thing? That's wild, isn't it? That's wild. Ted DiBiase's in trouble. Who is that guy, man? Who are they with their snazzy bums? I do not know this. I do not know this era of wrestling at all. Oh, look, the countdown sponsored by Casio. That wasn't sponsored by Casio earlier. And why have we got different graphics here? Those graphics were formerly just numbers, weren't they? Why have they switched up the graphics? Is it because we're in the last 10 or something? There he is, man. The King of Hearts, Owen Hart. With the logo on his singlet has been printed far too far to the left for some reason. Wonder what the deal is there, Owen Hart. Poor fella. Anyway. So here is the announce. Excuse me. The announce trailer. Aye, you did send me this. So Hammy, ADSR Thug, who's in chat, spent 2.5 years making this computer game and then has just went to a show in Los Angeles and San Francisco where the game that he's just been making in secret for 2.5 years is now finished, and everybody's like, it's the most fucking best thing that we've ever seen ever. Here is the game trailer. Obviously, Hammy, if you want to send me like an actual PlayStation, I will play this on stream, but you need to send me like a full PlayStation, right? So get on the phone, right? Just be like, I know a very high profile streamer. No, he's definitely going to love it. He won't say anything bad about it, regardless of what it is. We need to send this man a PlayStation. Can I get a VR headset as well, please? Thanks. This looks class, man.
君のことは親友だと思っているが、やるしかないようだな。
I'll turn it down a wee bit, right?
ビブラニウムのシールドだけでは私のアーマーには勝てないぞ。よし、本気でやるぞ。くらえ、おい、神よ、耐えてみせろ。任せてちょうだい。パンチ。私の名前の通り、マーベラス。
I'd like to play this at a really high FPS. Or you will know. Does it frame limit at 60? Also, is the game out now, or is it just been advertised? Was that Scott Steiner? No way, man. Roini30, yes, this is a real CRT behind me. I've got 3 CRTs here, 1 big CRT here, and an oscilloscope. Scott and Rick Steiner. Aye, I wouldn't have put them in those costumes. Savio Vega is Quang. Oh man, Diesel's coming out. Diesel was my guy. And then he left for WCW, and then Undertaker was my guy. But Diesel's coming, everybody. It does just look amazing, doesn't it? See, like the art style, the fact that it's 3D, but the composition of everything is 2D and just looks like it's Street Fighter or something. Like in a good way, I mean, like Street Fighter 2, in terms of the posing and aye, if I was a wee guy and could play this on a couch with 2 joypads, this would absolutely be my jam. But check out, everybody, Marvel Tokon Fighting Souls. Hammy did a lot of the design work on this and made the trailer and all that sort of stuff. So very well done. See all the graphics that I assume is also in like the menus and things. All of this stuff here. Hammy, ADSR and Thug, who's in chat, did all that gear. Got the diacritic over the O wrong though, because it's been quite a long week, I would imagine. But that looks class, man. Let me know when my PlayStation arrives, because you can phone people to get me a PlayStation, I'm certain of it. But that looks cool, man. I'm just at the bottom of my eye watching Diesel, and who's this? Is that Bob Backlund? Fucking Bob Backlund, man, he was so shit. Bob Backlund's not going to put out Diesel. No, I'm not having that, man. I'm not having that. No way. Diesel, get this mofo powerbombed, mate. Bob Backlund was... I'd never got it. I never got his vibe. Deary me. Only thing that gets smudges off my specs is clean tissue. I highly recommend a lint-free lens cloth is my vibe. And just like Stone Cold said. Also, don't use water that's too hot as well, because that can sort of craze the plastic. Anyway. When you and Roscoe were messing with the puppets, you really went in and asked where you were learning. Oh, magic. Well, Maggie, you need to show me... Or, well, you don't need to do anything, but I'd quite like to see the end result, if you're happy to share at some point. 100%, rest in peace, Owen Hart, man. The heart on his singlet is left, so it's where his heart would be. That's very funny if that's true, Pablo Diablo. That's brilliant. The UI and branding, it's not finished. Right. So we're getting... We will have hype for this. Carla, are you still in chat? Because Carla... Not to dox Carla, but I believe worked on marketing for a UK version of a Marvel game, didn't you, Carla? So Carla, who's in chat, and Hammy ADSR Thug, who's in chat, you two might meet each other and work over this, or might already know each other or something like that. Just throwing it out there. Or maybe yous don't. So if you do know each other, yeah, then yes, hello. And if you don't know each other, only Marvel game I worked on was Marvel Avengers. Am I getting my franchises mixed up? It's maybe Marvel Avengers that I was thinking of. career low. I don't know, man. I don't know a lot about Marvel and all of that sort of stuff. What was the thing? It was DC, wasn't it? Right, aye. But I mean, aye. Surely in work though, Suicide Squad, I was thinking Suicide Squad. I don't follow all the stuff. So to me, it all just looks, it's all very similar. So I was getting it mixed up. But surely in work, if you do work for a DC game, it's not as if you're then a DC person from that point on. It's all shite, says Carla. It's no for me. I'm not saying it's shite. Lots of money to be made. Lots of money that I would like to make at some point, if, you know. So I'm not, you know, or anything like that. I was just saying it's like when I get into a taxi and the taxi driver asks if I watch football, I either go, no, or I try and lie a bit, but he quickly catches me out in the lies. And similarly, getting Marvel and DC mixed up and all that, I'm just like, I don't know about this, don't know about any of this sort of stuff. But I just mentioned because you both work in like high-end, big budget video games was all. I just thought I'd mention it, alright? Deary me. Right, I'm going to scroll up and continue reading the chat for whence I have been. This was already showcased. It was already showcased, I might say, but now it's for a second time. Tell you what, I can convince him to take a VR headset, but only if you get him the PlayStation. Well, I realised after I mentioned the VR headset that I wouldn't be able to play Half-Life Alyx because it's a PlayStation and they do all their exclusives and stuff like that. The game comes out in 2026. It's 60 FPS. That's exciting. 2026. Fighting games are almost all spec to be consistent 60 and frame limited. Nice one. Aye, for the competitive nature of it. That makes a lot of sense. That does make a lot of sense. It looks like Street Fighter 2 promo art, but in motion. Aye. It looks class, man. It's on PC, so you're already good. Aye, but still send me a PlayStation though, eh? I'm kidding on, but I'm purely joking. If you actually did somehow send me a PlayStation, I would feel guilty, so please don't. Are all his fringed leather trousers he's wearing don't look comfortable? Let's have a wee look. Who is this? Diesel? And who's that, man? It looks almost like Macho Man, but it can't be Macho Man because we've already had Macho Man. Who's this? Is that still Macho Man? In different wardrobe from what I remember from earlier on. Same bald spot, same sort of leopard print, same convincing punches. Aye, surely that's Macho. Aye, he's just still in. He just punched him in the groin there accidentally, that's a wee shame. Ah, it's definitely Macho Man. Anyway. Marvel and DC are enemies, aye, Martin. Appears to be the case. I don't know anything about any of all of that. Carla says, you're an excellent ambassador. Can't wait to get you playing my next project. Aye. It's all pish to me. I don't even care. When do I get paid? Aye. 100%. My goodness. Very sorry if I've offended any comic book people or video game people or anything like that. I don't know stuff. Feel free to get 10,000 to put us in touch or just find me. I'm not covert in the slightest. Aye. Just because yous both do video game stuff at a very high level. I'd like to hear you try to stumble your way through a football talk. The next time it happens, TD, I will record it, right? I'll go on my voice notes and I will record it. Speaking of mullets, I showed my daughters who Miley Cyrus's dad was and they were pissing themselves laughing. I forgot that was even a thing. Well, there you go. This is from a different Rumble. Aye, well that's Jeff Jarrett. How can this be a different Royal Rumble? Did it just autoplay to... Have we watched a full PPV? It couldn't have just autoplayed to our next video, did it? I don't know, man. Who knows? I don't know the state of the wrestling behind me. I must say, having wrestling on behind me has become a wee bit of a distraction rather than like a cool thing to watch, hasn't it? But it is kind of comforting just having the wrestling on behind me, even if the clock is in a slightly different font and position. I can't wait for the Death Stranding 2 streams and Inevitable Rants. I was actually considering going back and playing the first Death Stranding again on stream. But I don't know, because do I get the director's cut now? I was halfway through the game and I put all my resources in one wee base thing. And then I've not played it for so long that I don't know where that base is. And I just need ceramics and all of that. If I was to go back into Death Stranding, I might be tempted to start it from scratch. But then that's like a massive undertaking. So I don't know what I'll do. Maybe I just won't play it again. Dearie me. Oh yeah. So how can it be a new Royal Rumble? How can that be? I just don't know. I've already watched through a whole Rumble. I thought it was the full PPV. Who knows? Watching the Royal Rumble on a native CRT display looks fantastic, even through HD stream codec. It looks really good in person as well. The motion of it doesn't look pixely in any way. It looks a bit framey sometimes, but I think that's just because I'm viewing it while asking my computer to do lots of other stuff. But this looks as good as if it was currently being broadcast or something. Whereas if I was to watch the YouTube video that this is from, just on a regular monitor, I would see all the degradation, all the compression and artifacts. But for what? Oh, there's Doink and Wee Doink. Doink the Clown, man. See the first Doink the Clown? Genuinely scary character, a compelling gimmick, right? Doink the Clown gets shat on. So Doink the Clown is a wrestler who is a clown, right? But it was during an era where wrestlers had like gimmicks that were to do with jobs. Like you had the taxman, the IRS gimmick guy who was a taxman. You had Brutus the Barber Beefcake who was a hairdresser and he was a wrestler. You had various people. But this is Doink, who was a children's entertainer, clown, who was also a wrestler, right? And a lot of people like to point at Doink as an example of like, oh, these bad gimmicks that are a bit rubbish back in the day and nobody really needed to see these and stuff. But the original Doink was dark. There was a darkness about him. I think he was channeling a wee bit of Gacy or something, where he would like, look at the camera menacingly and it would get all a bit trippy and weird, and then you'd be back into it. Then you would come out it again. Then you would come back into it. And the Doinks that came after that was just like a sanitized version that was all just doing clown stuff. And that's a wee bit of a shame, is what I was saying. If I was in charge of wrestling today, right, one of my complaints about wrestling, is that Luna and Bam Bam? My God. They're almost certainly both dead. Almost certainly. One of my big complaints with contemporary wrestling, like I watched WrestleMania a couple of months ago, all that sort of stuff. And one of my complaints of contemporary wrestling is there's no gimmicks anymore. They're all just called stuff like Josh, Denzel, and Biff, surname, and stuff like that. There's no gimmicks. They're all, I think because of MMA fighting, they want to be MMA fighters. So they're all just coming to the ring using their real names and stuff like that. And their gimmick is, oh, I'm a good fighter. Right? That's what their gimmick is in contemporary wrestling. And I think maybe not everybody should be Doink the Clown, right? Like Bray Wyatt was trying it out for a bit. You know what I mean? Talking about the IRS, his son. He was trying something different for a wee bit. I'm not saying everybody needs to be Doink the Clown, but somebody needs to be Doink the Clown, man. We need just a bit of something. Anyway, this concludes my rant. If I was in charge of wrestling today, I would bring back Doink. Not the same guy, Same gimmick, different guy. But it would be Dark Doink, the first iteration, just to see. Matt Bourne heel Doink was good, aye, totally. And then other Doinks were just a bit rubbish. I think they sort of sanitised his version of it as well. Anyway, thank you for listening to my thoughts on Doink the Clown. But it does look really good on a CRT. Out of pure interest, how much does a game dev make and how many hours a week do you actually have to work as unpaid overtime? Daz Dibby, I can't answer that question, but I'm sure the answer to that question has got a sliding scale. So if you're an independent game dev, you might make so much money. If you're in a big studio working on a big AAA game, you might work X amount of money. But I just couldn't tell you. I've never worked in that industry ever. That was a fork in the road for me. I was either going to go to Abertay to study game development to ultimately probably work in graphics in the game industry if I didn't get into the Glasgow School of Art. And as it happened, I got into the Glasgow School of Art. So that could have went either way. And sometimes I begin to think, that would have been a more lucrative endeavour if I'd went into games, but it is what it is. I fear that institutional knowledge of how to make a Trinitron level CRT is now retired and going to be lost to the next generation. Yes, Hammy, you can't make CRTs anymore. This here is older than I am. It was made in West Germany, which means it was made before the Berlin Wall fell down. Hardly ever used, in wonderful condition, but once it's gone, it's gone. Doink gave me nightmares, aye. Isaac Yankem, 100%. Kane was a dentist, aye, there you go. Diesel worked as a truck. Why was IRS teamed up with $1 Million Man? You think they'd be enemies? Well, if $1 Million Man's pals with IRS, then IRS can, just like in real life, can forgive different taxes. Just like Jeff Bezos. I think it was that sort of relationship. Bob Hawley was a NASCAR driver. Bob Hawley. I think you mean Sparky Plug, exactly, with 2 Gs. The older gimmicks could be more kooky than nowadays. I just think we should get some gimmicks back, man. If Bray Wyatt can do the whole Fiend stuff, and it got over, which it did get over, if he can do all of that sort of stuff, let people try some stuff out. Anything. Just try anything out. Other than, I'm a dead good fighter. See me, my whole character's that I'm dead good at fighting. Just give us anything other than that. But anyway, what do I know? Ken Shamrock and Brock Lesnar were different, right? Because Ken Shamrock was doing the whole I'm good at fighting before most other people. So when he came in, you believed that he was good at fighting with his mad, like, his ankle and stuff. And then Lesnar was just a big monster, man. So no matter what he did, you're like, this guy's a total monster. This guy is a total monster. So Shamrock, I think, worked because nobody else was really doing it at that point. Nobody else was just being a fighter, you know? Kurt Angle is different because he was like an Olympic personality beforehand. So him wrestling under his own name sort of worked. Do you know what I mean? I don't know. I like the old days of wrestling. You had a guy with a hacksaw, then you'd have some no-name schmuck from Idaho. Aye. Totally. Storytelling. Ironic because all the MMA fighters would like to do wrestling, better money. Aye. Seems like if you're a wrestler, you want to get into MMA, and if you're into MMA, you want to get into wrestling. It seems to be the way that it is. The guy with worms in his mouth, forgot about him. I forgot about him. But dearie me. My gran used to watch the shitey UK wrestling on World of Sport on a Saturday. Even as a youngin', I was not sold on the fact that Big Daddy could be the best. I never got into that era of British wrestling. It sort of passed me by. I don't think I was at the right age for it. But I'm right into what came after this. The sort of post-Attitude era wrestling was very good stuff, man. But I never get into Big Daddy and all of that. The Big Daddy that I knew was Big Daddy Cool, who is there. Is Diesel still in the ring? I don't think he is. I think he got eliminated. Who's this coming out? Can't tell you for certain. Doesn't look as if he's walking with much confidence. Aye, Diesel's no in anymore. I don't know who that guy is. A heel, definitely. Mabel, apparently, would just injure loads of people, wouldn't he? Anyway. Grimmin says Luna and Bam Bam Bigelow have both passed away about 15 years ago. I was right. Wasn't I right? I was right. My goodness, anyway. Echo in 1030 statement here also depends on your level of investment and what you're doing on the project, size of the team, etc. And these things take years to pay off sometimes, if at all. Yeah, totally. I knew somebody that worked in Rockstar North for a wee bit, but I haven't really spoke to him because he used to work in a studio that I was in. And he said the money in Rockstar was better, but just the life, you just have to give it your full life. But this was about 15 years ago. And I have not really saw him since because he's just been very busy. Now, to see gimmicks, you have to go see independent wrestling league shows put on locally. Yes, ZYX. I've been to a couple of ICW events, and it's very good. ICW is now more or less the same company as this, I believe. Don't really know all the ins and outs, but I think they're the sort of same thing. You can't get decent Walkmans either. The manufacturer of the crappiest ones was the only one that survived, so even the best Walkmans are now really bad. That's terrible, Mr. Shamfer. Les Dennis, I'm into Bonesaw. Let's go for it, man. Shamrock was a genuine pride fighter, and Lesnar went and proved himself in UFC and beat everybody up. Aye. Like, see if you've got folk like Lesnar, it's okay that his gimmick is he's fucking massive and he can destroy you. That's okay. Like, Andre didn't really have a gimmick other than fucking hell, look at the size of that guy. And for certain guys, Big Show didn't really have a gimmick. His name Big Show referred to the internal patter of what they would call a big pay-per-view. That didn't make it like his. He didn't really have a gimmick other than, look at that, he's a big giant man. But I don't know. I'm not in charge of the wrestling, so maybe that's what it is. Hammy talking about game development says location is a huge factor still, as is experience. For every studio president like Neil Druckmann, there is also an intern programmer, and that has literally been his actual career progression. Well, there you go. I don't know anything about how video games work. I've never even caught a whiff of it. I don't think it's Coco Ragan. That's Tatanka, isn't it? With Sean in the corner. Mabel or Viscera, or whatever you want to call him. Yous can't see as well as I can. Bam Bam's in there. Guy down the bottom left, don't know who he is. The Hammer Valentine. Greg. By Mabel there. Accidentally broke the orbital eye socket of Undertaker. Raging at that. And he really injured somebody else accidentally as well. And I'm surprised they let him keep going, man. Wrestling. That's wrestling. But it is what it is. I know someone who worked on a game for 8 years and then the company went bust even after a successful shipping, so it didn't pay off. Hold on, that someone was me. Well, I was maybe ready to ask you a question that you might not want to answer. But I've heard that in video games, there's like accounting tricks as well, kind of like in visual effects for movies. So if you're on a company that did the visual effects for a movie, quite often there's like accounting tricks that can be done. So even though your visual effects won lots of awards and the movie made so much profit and everybody loved it, the visual effects company will still go out of business at the end of the production, and lots of people end up getting fucked. So I wonder if the same thing exists and I can't afford to pay the lawyers long enough to answer that question. I realised that as I was asking it, so I just pivoted the question to a statement. But your evasion gives me a rough idea. People will ruin everything, won't they, man? Middle managers will just ruin absolutely everything. Oh, you made something amazing? And everybody loves it? And it's won loads of awards? Oh, well, it's time to pay. No, you're not getting paid. Bye. No, we're keeping all the money, mate. That's how it works. I would imagine. I don't know. Anyway. I know, I've just read that one. Are you a fan of Aspinall? What's Aspinall? It's the surname of somebody that I know. Right. I don't follow MMA or anything. Don't know. I just don't follow UFC or MMA. I don't like it if two people are actually trying to hurt each other. I don't like it. I don't like watching somebody get punched by somebody that's actually trying to punch them. Whereas with this stuff, it's almost beautiful, man. Like the fact that he really doesn't want to hurt anybody else that he's hitting brings like a layer of art to it that I don't find the enjoyment in with this sort of stuff. Doesn't mean that stuff's bad. It's just what I'm into. Some people are into stuff, other folk are into other stuff. I don't think I could watch a boxing match and be invested in it unless I was like, I'd put money in it or something. And similarly with MMA, like, I don't like watching guys get knocked out and stuff because it can't be good. But I don't know enough about it. Don't know anything about UFC. I'm not saying that UFC or MMA is bad. I'm not saying that people shouldn't watch it because of course it's brilliant. Loads of folk are into it. It's very entertaining, all that sort of stuff. But just me personally, if you're pretending to do it, I am in. But if you're genuinely doing it, I'm like, no thanks. I'm all right. Thanks, but no thanks. The Rock was the man, him, Kurt Angle, Triple H. I wasn't as into Triple H myself. For me, main characters for me, Undertaker, Mick Foley, Stone Cold. Trifecta, they're on Mount Rushmore. Maggie, Hollywood Film Studio account, that's the sort of vibe that I was asking. Anyway. Dwayne, who are you talking about? He seems like a nice lad. The Aspinall guy. Movies are worse. I'm not asking anything. I don't even know about anything. Pure incriminating Hammy on his big release thing. When he's no well as well. MMA is way less dangerous than boxing, to be honest. Aye. You know me though. I'm just like, I've tried a couple of times and I'm just like, I'm alright. Thanks, but no thanks. I'm like that with boxing. I'd never watch a boxing match, but show me Rocky movies all day long. I would rather watch Rocky than actual boxing. Dana White, UFC's all Trumpy folk and all that, but like it's no for me. I know lots of people who like it who aren't Trumpy folk. Who's that Scottish one? My mate knows a guy called, he does his podcast, Paul, Scottish fighter called Paul somebody. And he used to wear my t-shirts as well. Paul, somebody know a UFC guy called Paul, Scottish? I don't know. But my mate is into all of that and knows him and stuff like that. What's his name? Scottish UFC Paul. I don't know. Paul Craig. I think it's him. Paul Craig. Aye. So my mate Tony does his podcast. And I think there's a picture of him wearing my two-stripe shirt somewhere. I've just typed in Paul Craig two-stripe and it's no came up. Ah, who knows? What if I type it in other way? Nah. Nah. Gone. Gone forever. It's maybe here. So I'm going to get this back up and running, man. I'm going to get this back on the go. A bit of two-stripe. So I might resurrect some of the t-shirts upstairs in order to help with the dog fund. So that we were talking about ICW earlier. That is Mark Dallas, former owner of ICW, wearing one of my two-stripe tops while standing on a pool table. That's Kieran Hurley, who wrote Beats and stuff, wearing two-stripe. That's Daniel Sloss next to my mate. Daniel Sloss isn't wearing two-stripe, but still, for whatever reason, we used to use this to promote two-stripe. That's me as a wee boy. Hey! That's me as a wee boy. Look at that. Cool as fuck, man. Airdrie tap. Oh, aye, so this is the other guy who isn't Paul Craig, but he's wearing two-stripe there. What's his name, fighting fans? Do you know his name? Fight fans. There's another fighter. But for whatever reason, loads of fighters, wrestling and otherwise, ended up getting right into our stuff. Here's Ravy Davy as well, who wore two-stripe. Just land in a ring. He wasn't wearing two-stripe then and there, but aye, for whatever reason, loads of fighters got right into two-stripe. That is somebody wearing two-stripe at the front row of a Young Bucks match. Two-stripe. There's Rachel wearing two-stripe. Oh, Stella. Oh, Stella Dog. Stella Dog was a wonderful dog. She was the best dog in the full world. So I'm going to say, otherwise I'll start crying. Wonderful dog, man. Just one of the best dogs I ever did. Brilliant dog. Here's a two-stripe somewhere. Don't know where that is. Here's something that I realised was illegal. We started doing this, realised it was illegal. So, didn't do that for much longer. Here's Franz Ferdinand with Julian in the back, wearing a bit of two-stripe. Wearing a bit of two-stripe. Here is the Airdrieonians Football Charity Club wearing an ill-fitting charity top that we sponsored. However, me, the designer, did not sign off on the sponsor kit. So they ended up printing a black two-stripe logo over a blue top. And I'm very aware that the point of this endeavour wasn't for two-stripe to promote themselves. It was for the charity thing or whatever. But for me, the main thing was I wanted to see my logo on a football top. And see whoever printed them, man. Oh my God. Just print it in white, mate. Just print it in white, though. But they didn't. They printed it in black. Anyway, there's a photo of a two-stripe guy getting tackled with studs up for an Airdrie fella. There is Stella again. She's brilliant. Where are we? Different people. That's Ravy Davy, the wrestler. With a two-stripe top on, power card. That's him training. Anyway. This here is Coach Tripp from ICW Wrestling, wearing two-stripe. Maximum respect to ICW Wrestling. They really... Aye, there's Paul Craig there. I knew I was in this for a reason. There we go. I'm not going mad. That is actual Paul Craig with a two-stripe top on. There we go. There we go. And thus completes the wee escapade that I had. Also, do you want to see Saul Goodman with an Airdrie top? Because there he is. Saul Goodman with an actual Airdrie top. That's something, isn't it? Don't see that quite often. But there he is. Do you think that's his actual living room? We'll never know. I think it is, because there's an Emmy. When have you heard that before? See if you just look next to that Airdrie top, you will see an Emmy. I don't think that sentence has ever been said before, ever. Stella was class, Channel 13. We also got Taylor to do some promo for Two Stripe. That was it. Cool Jinzo, the Kingdom of Scotland guy. Got him to do a wee bit of Two Stripe promo, that was it. Cost me 350 quid. He brought loads of crisps though. Brought like tons of snacks, man. Full Jaffa cakes, full Snacky Jacks, full like multi-party pack of Jammy Dodgers Mini, a couple of cans of Rubicon. Learned a lot about the guy that day. This is him and I doing a bit of business. That's when I agreed on the 350 quid. Look at that mental car in the background. It was cold. Here is Franz Ferdinand again wearing Two Stripe. I think it's the same t-shirt. And this concludes all the stuff. That concludes all the stuff. Anyway, that was a fun venture. So I think I might get the band back together for Fredo's vet bills, and I'll maybe try and sell you Two Stripe once again. We'll see how it goes, because lots of people have been asking for years, man, years and years, for when Two Stripe's coming back. I seen a tweet the other day wondering how much longer Stone Cold's career would have lasted if Owen Hart hadn't ruined his neck with a pile driver that went wrong. I don't know what he was thinking with that pile driver. It was very obviously going to go wrong. I mean, Stone Cold, like, what a phenomenon. I bet you it's one of those things where, in a weird way, the neck injury made him fight a bit like a brawler, and without that confidence as a brawler, maybe the Stone Cold character wouldn't have got over or something like that. I don't know. It's hard to say. Obviously, it would be wonderful if he didn't get dropped on his neck and injured horrifically. But he did, didn't it? I've never understood how Owen Hart, son of Stu Hart, can botch a pile driver. Do you know what I mean? Seems weird. I don't get it. I don't get how that could have happened. But it is what it is. I'm not implying that he did it intentionally or anything, but weird. Anyway. So Paul Craig was right. That same guy was still Paul Craig, wasn't it? It was. The phrase is styles make matches. This has always been the case. Two strikers is entertaining, two grapplers is a snooze fest. Aye, that makes a lot of sense. I suppose it's a bit like the Carol Young archetypes, isn't it? There's my idea for a wrestling promo. Have every wrestler represent one of Carol Young's archetypes and have them all go at each other, and purely by definition it'll be a drama. It'll be a recipe for a compelling, successful story. Football and fighting used to be good working class sports. Now they're the ownership of billionaires who use them for launder black market money. Can't do anything anymore. Nah. Are you saying companies like FIFA and the WWE are corrupt? Nah, can he be? Can he be? I think you're right. Paul Craig's a bit of a crazy fighter, great at Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, but not great at stand-up. Did he try stand-up? I don't know anything about him. Where are we? Stella, man. Mr. Chamfer says, I'm looking at my wee dog now, snoring away on the sofa, and it tears me up how loyal she is. I can't stand it with dogs, man. We really don't deserve dogs, somehow. I just love the dogs, man. I've got a cat and it doesn't like anyone. I'm with your cat. I think maybe just Bob Odenkirk lives like that. I think. Don't know. Mr. Bob Odenkirk started training for Mr. Nobody and just never stopped because he liked it so much. Mr. Nobody 2 will be an awesome... what is Mr. Nobody? Do it. It's a great brand. I still want that Scotland top. Hammy, what is happening is maybe as soon as next week I will be selling 2-stripe merch to you somehow. That's what's happening. Because we have started a Freddy fund. I wish you still made the school jotters. I would know a few people who would love them. Chamfer, I never made the jotters. I tried to make some jotters from scratch and I couldn't quite get the texture right. They felt like replicas. But the original school jotters were original real jotters that I liberated, well, somebody I knew liberated from a filming location that was shot in a Scottish school. And they opened a cupboard, saw a big stack of Scottish jotters with the logo on. Just lifted them and I started a company based on that. Buy a jotter for a £5 or 3 for a tenner. And folk would go, a tenner for 3 jotters? And I'd be like, aye. And they would go, fine. And they would pay a tenner for 3 jotters. And with that money, I got t-shirts printed. And then that's how it all snowballed. And then we all just didn't want to work on a side project anymore, so we just stopped it. The guy doing the picking and packing of it was just like, I don't want to do this anymore. So I was like, all right, so we stopped. But I've still got a lot of the stock upstairs. Tiger Tam says, I miss school and how we used to put wallpaper on the jotters. You can still put wallpaper on your jotters, mate. You can still do it. I think it's because there's 2 ways to do a pile driver and Austin was expecting the other way. But even then, Pablo Diablo, like, Austin was involved in it, you know? So why didn't Owen... So Owen, like, went down straight on his bum, right? But if he went down sort of bent his knees when he was doing it, I don't think it would have happened. But I don't know, I'm not a wrestler. I'd like to sit down with a wrestler and just be like, what happened there? I think that kind of butterfly effect, the pile driver led to Austin's rise and Owen's untimely demise, because if Austin never wanted to work with Owen ever again, and so Owen was stuck in the lower card and saddled with the blue blazer gimmick and the rest is history. Aye. It's just weird, man. I don't know. I just want to know about the mechanics of how something like that can happen in the wrestling. Because it feels like I've seen 100 pile drivers. But only that one changed the guy's life, you know? I don't know. I've even, when I was in high school, gave a pile driver to a mate. Imagine I broke that guy's neck, Jesus Christ. Anyway. My cat just pulled down a full set of curtains. It's 1:30 a.m. in Stockholm, so I'm sure the neighbours appreciated it. Driveshaft, your cat sounds like he's got a wonderful sense of humour. Mind wallpaper in the jar? Aye, it happened. Sorry, I misgendered your cat. I took a gamble. Someone selling second-hand Strathclyde logo one on eBay for £31. My God, we sold 3 for a tenner. If you can sell 1 for £31, that is ridiculous. My God. Aye, time to bring him back. Well, a former student of mine, will I be able to find this? Okay, and do you know what? I'm not going to put him on blast anyway. A former student of mine just last week brought out that same logo on a t-shirt and got the t-shirt, got like promo pictures with like a really big famous actor guy as well. And I was like, alright. I know, cool. But it was interesting to see, because that student definitely knew about Two Stripe, like definitely. But I'm not going to show it on stream because I don't want to put them on blast, because I'm sort of happy for them at the same time. And it's not my logo, you know what I mean? But sort of my project and that. But I've not been doing the project for about 6 years, so fair enough. Absolutely fair enough. My mate wrapped his jotter in pages of a soft porn mag and got suspended. That's funny. That's very funny. Deary me. Right, well, lads, listen, it's midnight, and if I don't get to sleep, like right now, I'm not going to be able to do my stream tomorrow because I will quickly burn out, and then that's what's happening. That's that. So what we're going to do is pay attention to somebody who's just went live, and he is called Roscoe, right? So I'm going to raid Roscoe. I'm going to raid Roscoe right now. And the raid has begun. Thanks for coming in, everybody. Thanks for being my pal. Thanks for keeping it real and taking it easy. It's important that you do both those things. My name's James Houston, and Houston's boosting. But before I go, I'd just like to remind you that this stream was brought to you by The Wrestling. The Wrestling, everybody get it watched. But thanks very much for coming in. I will see you tomorrow at 1:30 in the afternoon UK time, right here at twitch.tv/1030. And also, I think you're just dead cool. Chameleon says, back in 2020 when I started watching your streams, I bulk bought jotters from a printer in Glasgow, and 5 years later I still have never needed to buy a notebook. Chameleon, I might need to know who your printer was. That sounds dynamite. Sounds like a great setup. Listen, everybody, it's time for the magic trick. You ready for the magic trick? Are you ready for the magic trick? Let it happen. See you later, folks. It's Roscoe. It's Roscoe. Bye. And goodbye.